Masechta Zevachim da Pei Zayin Amud Aleph. We're starting from the second line from the bottom. Itma, we had learned, it says about Evarim, the limbs of a carbon, that the fire already burnt it, but not into ash, that it became hard. So yesterday we learned that at the first half of the night, you still have to put it back on the Mizbeach. If it fell off the Mizbeach, you have to put it on the Mizbeach that it should turn into ash. Because the mitzvah is still then. Once Chatzos passes, the mitzvah is gone, and it's as if it was burnt to ashes. Okay? So today we're going to learn, what's if he took it, it fell off before Chatzos, and we say, what turns this hard piece of meat into ashes? That if it's on the Mizbeach and Chatzos passes, the hour of Chatzos passes, so then it becomes considered as ash. But what's if he didn't put it on the Mizbeach before Chatzos, that the Zman of Chatzos should pass while it's on the Mizbeach, to make it considered as if it's burnt up? We're talking about that it's on the floor at the time when Chatzos passes.
Why wouldn't you just put it on the Mizbeach?
Okay, he didn't put it on the Mizbeach till after Chatzos. So will it be considered as burnt or not?
But the korban, you don't make the korban in the middle of the night.
No, you do by day, but it has to burn into ash. What? Pei Vav Amid Beis. That's Reish Chav Dalet by you. Reish Chav Dalet, the second line from the bottom.
It's like the chol before you put Shabbos. Make sure that's cooked before.
It has to be right, but it has to be on the Mizbeach. When Chatzos comes, it has to be on the Mizbeach in order to be considered as if it's ashes. Now our shaila is, what's if it was on the floor when Chatzos passed? And then Mechzina Chatzos, and he put it back after Chatzos. It fell off before Chatzos, and he put it back. So Rabba says, Chatzos, Sheni Echaltan. He has to wait for the next night, and keep it on the Mizbeach before Chatzos, that Chatzos should pass, and he'll have a din.
Because you have a day and a night to do it, right?
No, he says just the Chatzos has the right, this man, even the next day, to make it into, considered as ash. Rav Chisda, he says, you don't have to wait for the next night. Rav Chisda says, Amud HaShachar Yichalton. He says, the morning, if it's on the Mizbeach before Amud HaShachar, and Amud HaShachar passes, that should make it considered as burnt. Later, he has more time. It was said in the base Medrash of Rav. My time to Rav Chisda. Where does Rav Chisda come up with this chidush that if it's there on Mizbeach before Amud HaShachar and it passes Amud HaShachar, it's considered as burnt? He says, Chatzos is not so powerful to make the Isa of Lina by a carbon. That the meat, if it passes past Chatzos, it doesn't become Lina. Only, but it's equal. But it can make it into considered as ashes. Equal that it's ash. Equal means uvgigesn it's ash. Yeah. Amud HaShachar, which is more powerful, it has the koyach to make meat or carbon into the Isa of Lina. And it didn't say equal. Shouldn't the din be for sure that it should have the power to make it into ash? Zog the Gemara brings a machlekes in another case between Rabbi and Rav Chisda. Peishu. Peishu means he took the evarim that was hard. He took it off. This time he didn't put it back after Chatzos. He put it after Amud HaShachar. Now there's no chance of it becoming, even according to Rav Chisda, like it's burnt. Rabbi says Chatzos Sheni Echaltan. Rabbi says when the second Chatzos, he waits for the next night, puts it on the Mizbeach before Chatzos, and the Chatzos makes it into as if it's burned. Rav Chisda, listen, the first day, Rav Chisda says Amud HaShachar normally has the power to make it into ash because it has the power to make it into Lina, but the second day, Amud HaShachar doesn't have the power to make it into Lina. The first day did it already. So the second day of Amud HaShachar, if you're going to leave for Amud HaShachar, there's no power. So he says, therefore, Ein Bahem equal.
Why only the first day is good, the second day is no good?
Because the first day, that's makes the Isa of Lina. What's the second day doing? Nothing. Second day is garnish. The first day, if it passes Amud HaShachar, you're even already on the Isa of Lina. Going to the next day, waiting for Amud HaShachar is a joke. Amud HaShachar, it's already also Lina. So he says, Ein Bahem equal. Rav Chisda says there's nothing now to make it considered as burnt. La'olam forever. The only way to do it is put it back on the fire and let it burn to ash. That's it. Maskalor Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef is the kasha. Uman leimalon. Who says to us the chatzos b'reish hamizbeach b'shavet lo'ikol? Who says that the chatzos, when the meat is before chatzos, the chatzos passes, became ash? Dilma kol eichad min hamashchol l'mashavet lo'ikol. Who says that it has to be on the mizbeach? Wherever it is, if it's on the floor, chatzos passes. Maybe that in itself should, the time, it shouldn't have to be connected with the mizbeach. The time passes, chatzos. It has nothing to do with the mizbeach. The chatzos passed. They sent from there to Eretz Yisrael, and they said, Hilchas HaKav Yosef. Yosef is right. It doesn't have to be on the mizbeach. Chatzos passes. It has a din like equal.
It doesn't have to be burned.
It doesn't have to be burnt. No, it's hard. It's enough. And if the zman of chatzos passes, whether it's on the floor in the azara, whether it's on the mizbeach, if the zman of chatzos passes, it has a din like it's burnt. And he brings her ayah. That's the halacha. If he took the meat of the korban off the mizbeach before chatzos, and he put it back after chatzos, loy nahanin, you cannot have anah, but you're not even on the ismaila because it says the mitzvah is chav. Once chatzos passed, it's as if it's burnt, and once the mitzvah is done, there's no iser of meila. So did bar kapara learn. If he took it off before chatzos, and he put it back after chatzos, yoitzin midei meila. It's no more meila because the mitzvah from Vern Ash, from becoming ash, has been done because the zman chatzos passed, even though the meat was on the floor and that's all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't have to be on the mizbeach. It has to be. You're right, but it's as if it's ash. Yeah, once the zman of chatzos passes, we say the mitzvah of equal has been done. It says, it was burned till it has to be burnt till it became hard. That's for sure. Once they already paskin from Eretz Yisrael, and you brought so many people. You said Hilchos Rab Yosef, and not only that, you said they all learned that even like Rab Yosef, if it's on the floor and chatzos passes, the mitzvah of equal has been done. It's ash. So Rab Chizma might pligi. Where are they arguing about? So where's the machlokes? Because you remember Rabba says it has to be in the mizbeach when chatzos passes. Rav Chisda says Amud Hashach is enough. Where were they talking about? If chatzos passes, it's automatic. Amalei, no, it's not automatic. Bishmeinim. It's talking about it was a very fatty piece of meat, and fatty piece of meat, even though burnt till it's hard, right? But we'd still say chatzos won't make it into ashes because fatty part, even though it became hard, could become softened again. We were talking about hard meat that it will never. It's like a coal, a piece of rock. It's not, nothing's happening. But if it's the fats became hard, it becomes soft again. So therefore, it's not. So it's not considered chatzos took care of the business, made it like equal, and that's what the pliga is. Yeah, he has to put it back in mizbeach either before chatzos or the next night, or before Amud Hashach. Okay. The Rabbi had asked a question from Rabbi. Lina me'eles b'reishei shel hamizbeach or eina me'eles b'reishei shel hamizbeach? The isa of lina, if you leave it after this man, then there's an isa of lina. If the meat is on the mizbeach after this man, but it's on the mizbeach already. So if it's on the mizbeach, is there isa lina? Maybe not, because it's before the lina, it's already on the mizbeach, and the mizbeach, once it's on the mizbeach, no more lina. Says, how are you talking? What's the case talking about?
The whole problem of lina is because they shouldn't eat from the korban
after, but once it's on the mizbeach, nothing's happening. It's already on the mizbeach. It's there to be burnt. Nobody's taking it off.
Which korban is on? Is there shlomim?
Whatever korban it is, a shlom is 2 days and 1 night, but it's after this man. But it was before this man. Before this man, it was. You did it right. Right by the end of this man, you put it on the mizbeach. Now what? So if it's on the Mizbeach and it's still on the Mizbeach after this man, is that Lina or not? So he says, hey, how's the case talking about? Elam, if you're going to say the Lo Yardu, that the Kachim that was Lonu al Mizbeach, that was after this man, it was still on the Mizbeach. He says, what's the Shaila? Of course there's no Lina. Hash the Madach by Kachim Lonu Ba'azara. Madach, if there was Lina, there was Mamash Lina, it was on the Mizbeach, and it was left over after this man. And by mistake, you brought it up on the Mizbeach. Amarta Amrit, you said the Lo Yedu. Once it became Pasul Lina, Pasul Lina. And then the guy went and he walks up on the Mizbeach. I say everything is normal, and he puts it on the Mizbeach. It's good, the Lo Yedu, you don't take it down. But Reish Shalom Mizbeach by you. If it's on the Mizbeach, when it turned Lina, of course, it stays on the Mizbeach. Well, you have to say the Yardu. You were talking about the Kachim that was on the Mizbeach, right? So he took it down. So
why he took it out?
He just took it down. So that's the Shaila. The Yoda Kachim Shalon al Mizbeach. He let Amud HaShacha go by. So Amud HaShacha, it was on the Mizbeach at the time that it would have made the Isa of Lina kick in. It was on the Mizbeach at the time when the Isa of Lina kicked in. It was on the Mizbeach before Amud HaShacha. Amud HaShacha went by. Isa of Lina didn't kick in. He should have kicked in, but it was on the Mizbeach. And then he goes ahead after Amud HaShacha, he takes it down. So
then the Isa Lina comes back.
So the Shaila is, that's a good Shaila. So he says, do we compare it to Shulchan Nichnan that we learned in the Shulchan Afilu? Hey, meaning the lachma upon him ala Shulchan Yom Rab me'imekach klum. There's a din by the Shulchan that you have to put the bread, the lachma upon him bread, in the Shulchan midei Shabbos, from Shabbos to Shabbos. What's if he didn't put it on till Sunday? So now it's not midei Shabbos. It's not from Shabbos to Shabbos. So you have to pass by one Shabbos till the next Shabbos. So it should be from Shabbos to Shabbos. And as then, you are makiv the vazichin. There were two vazichin in front of the chalis. They would put it on the mizbech and then they would give it to the kahanim to eat it.
What happened to the chalas for Sunday? Put it on Sunday. What happened to the
He keeps it on for 2 weeks almost.
For 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and l'chayda, it was late. He was l'chayda, it was late. It passed his man. We say no. The halacha is it's not considered as late. You could do it 13 days later. You take the vazichin, the 2 cups of incense that were in front of the shulchan. They had like a little room to place 2 little cups with incense. They would take that, be makter on the mizbeach, like psalmim, and then the kahanim were able to eat the lechem. But that was after 13 days. That's like yo'eval, but it was late. It's like lina. And nevertheless, we said ein bekach klum. It's all right. So maybe that's my mizbeach also. If it's on the mizbeach, it's ein bekach klum, even after the zman. Or should we say lekach medaminan? Or we should say no. Mizbeach is not like a shulchan. A shulchan is a kli. You can move it around. Kli sharetz, you can move around. The mizbeach was a stone floor. The top was just like the ritzvah.
So you can't move
So you can't move it. So maybe it has a din like the hazara. I'm not sure. Amalei. So he answered back. Rabbi said to Rabbi, "Ein lina. There is no lina if it's on the mizbeach before Amud HaShach and it went through Amud HaShach while mizbeach. No, he said lina bereish shalom mizbeach if it's on the top of the mizbeach." Did Rabbi accept what the Rabbi gave up psak? There's no lina, or he didn't accept it. Toshma, come in here and I'll bring your raya. Rabbi Beferish didn't accept it. Where do we see he didn't accept it? The itma that we learned. A varim of all the kabbanis of Shalon Bazara that had the Isalina, it was in the Hazara. So Mekarta Vahila Kol Halayla. The halacha is that you can bring it on the Mizbeach through the night, but you're not allowed to bring it onto the Mizbeach if the Alis Hashacha, because it became Pasul Belina. Lon Bereisha Shalom Mizbeach, but it was on the Mizbeach before Amud HaShacha, and then Amud HaShacha passed, then Mekater he could always burn it, because it's not lina. Yardu, if these evarim came down from the mizbeach, if the Alis HaShach he took it down, Rabba Oma Yalo, Rabba still bring it back because it's no lina. There's no Israel lina. But look what the other says. He's still arguing. Lo yalu. Even though during the time of the Lina, it was on the Mizbeach. So according to Rabba, there was no Isalina to this meat. Even if you took it down, you bring it back up. Rabba says, no, you took it down after Amud HaShabbat. Lo yalu. I disagree with you. You can't bring it up because there is a Isalina. Shmamino, you have a raya that Rabba didn't accept it. Finish. We learned in the Mishnah, what does that mean? Just like the Mizbeach is Mekadesh, the meat, when it becomes holy on the Mizbeach itself, on the ramp also it becomes holy, even while it's on the ramp. That's what the Mishnah said. You know, there's a ramp that goes up to the Mizbeach?
Yeah.
So if the meat is on the ramp, it has the same Kiddush, it's Mekadesh the meat, just as if it's on the Mizbeach. For the Kohen to go up on the ramp, to go to the Mizbeach. To be able to make it up.
It's a long ramp.
It's a long ramp. There was an off ramp also we learned in the middle of to go in the middle of the mizbeach to spray the blood. But right now,
So why did the leave it on the ramp? What if they get a mizbeach? It's a schlep.
they have to burn it on the maracha. We want once it's on the ramp, is it as if it's on the mizbeach or not? Because we're talking about even Lina. The ramp was mekadesh. So the Yimada Tana Rabbana on your lens. Where do we see that the ramp has the same kedusha as the mizbeach? It says kol ad mizbeach yigdash ainly on the mizbeach. We only know the mizbeach itself is mekadesh, the kochim that touch it. Hakevesh minayin. How do we know the ramp is going to be kevesh minayin? How do we know the ramp also will be mekadesh, the kochim that touches the ramp? Tamad leima es hamizbeach. The es is the tofel. Wasn't the tofel to the mizbeach the ramp? That too is going to be Mekadesh. Klei Shodes. How do we know that the Klei Shodes, Lamasha, you Mekabel, the Dam in the Klei Shodes, or the Kmitza, you Mekabel the Klei Shodes? Oh, the Kmitza became holy already. It's in the Klei Shodes. How do we know that? Menayin, Tabalem, Kolak, Nagei Bahem, Yigdash Bahem is referring to everything, to the Kalim too. Baby, they know Ishlakish Rabbi Yochanan. The Ishlakish is the Shailat from Rabbi Yochanan. Klei Shodes, Mao Sheikachrin Es Hapsulan. A klisharis, if somebody put in, there was also plates that they put the meat on, and with the plates they would bring it to the mizbeach, and they would throw it like a shissel and throw it. You didn't take the meat and put your hand in like you took in a plate and you dropped it. So if the kli was mekabelit, right? Does it make it a kedusha? Once it becomes a kedusha aguf.
The kli wasn't in mizbeach yet.
Yeah, so only on the kli on the side, but he's on the mizbeach, of course, bringing it to the fire. So the shaila was, there's a din, if something becomes kedusha zaguf, there's no way of redeeming it. So this is kedusha zaguf because the keli was mekadesh it, the meat itself. So there's no way of redeeming it.
So you can't put it in mizbeach?
You can redeem it. Let's say it became.
He wants to do something else.
It became puzzle, became tamei. There's no way of redeeming it. So if did it make it kedusha zaguf or not? We learned befedish. Geshem shamizbeach v'hakevish mekachim saroyullah kacha kenem mekachim. We learned just like the mizbeach is mekadesh kedusha zaguf, so too is the klisharis. Amalei Reish Lakish says, my shaila was a whole different shaila. Not whether you could redeem it or not. Of course, everybody agrees it's holy that you can't redeem it. It's kedusha zaguf. Lechatchila likariv kamei boilei. My shaila was, if the kli sharis that's mekachim the psulim, is it mutter to be makiv on the mizbeach lechatchila? What does that mean? The Gemara will give you an example. Let's say the kli sharis, a guy who was not allowed to be on the mizbeach was mekabelit with a kli sharis, right? So the person is tamei. The keli is the kli sharis. The meat is on the kli sharis, and then a kohen kosher goes and sprays the blood. Could he go spray the blood, and now it's kosher l'chatchila?
The person is stomach. How does it bring you the thing?
He brought it, but it's in the kli sharis. He drops it. The meat doesn't become tamei. He's not allowed, but he did it. He brought it. He was holding kli sharis. Should we say the carbon's still kosher, meaning that if another kohen kosher comes and takes the blood of that carbon and sprays it, it's a kosher carbon or not? That's what we're talking about. Says this too we learned previously, where a carbon shekiblu psulim, a carbon that psulim people koyanim who are apostle to do the avodah. we're mekabel the carbon in a keli. V'zarkas damei, and they themselves spray the blood. The apostle of the people. My love, kiblu psulim v'zarkas psulim. The whole reason why it's not going to be good, because not only would they mekabel it, the main part that's mated the carbon is the zika. Who did the zika? The apostle guy. But what if it wouldn't have been a psulim that sprayed the blood? It would have been a kosher guy that sprayed the blood. It's kosher lechatchila. So there's your answer. Says you're learning pshat in that Mishnah wrong. When he said kiblu psulim v'zarku psulim, it's not talking about one case. One guy was makabel the psulim, and then this psulim sprayed also. No, either one case kiblu psulim, the carbon is no good, or v'zarku psulim and the kiblu kahana and kshenim. So it's two separate cases. Like shekiblu psulim, inami shezarku psulim. So you can't be medayik. Oh, it was one guy. The psulim did both avodas, but if the psulim would have, if kosher people would have done the zikah, it would be kosher. No, the Mishnah Befeir says it's not. Whether it's kiblu psulim or whether the zikah was done by psulim, one of them is either one is not going to be good. So you have no raya. The ear on top of the mizbeach. Let's say you take a piece of meat from the carbon. No, you take a stick and you bend it towards the mizbeach. Okay, it's you're not on the mizbeach. You took a stick, you stuck a piece of meat and of the carbon, and you're tilting it over the aver of the mizbeach, over the ear space of the mizbeach. Is it like the mizbeach or not? Does it have the is the mizbeach being mekadosh in such a way? Ear rights, yeah, sure. Here, is there ear rights or not? Zog, you want to tashma? Come in here. I'll answer you. Kishen shem mizbeach mekadosh, kach hakevish mekadosh. We just said, just like the mizbeach is mekadosh the carbon, so to the ram. Now the amarta avid mizbeach lav ki mizbeach. If you're going to say the ear of the mizbeach is not like the mizbeach itself, avid kevish nami lav ki kevish dami. So the ear of the ram is also not like the ram. So now what's going to happen? Let's say somebody put the meat on the ram. You said it's kaddish. But how is it kaddish? If he picks it up, it's like he took it off the mizbeach, because he has to take it off the ramp and bring it to the fire. So once he takes it off the ramp, and the aver is not like the ramp, it's like he took it down. So how could he bring it up on the mizbeach? It's like he took it down. So the Gemara answers, Havale Yorud. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a kasha. How can you pick it up from the ramp of the Mizbeach and bring it to the Marocha on the Mizbeach? Havale Yorud, the moment he picked it up in the Avir, it's not like the Mizbeach, so it's like he took it down. And he schleps it. He doesn't pick it up. He schleps the meat over the Mizbeach. Yeah, so the Gemara is now going to ask, if you remember, between the ramp and the Mizbeach, there was a space. Others said there was an amma, others say it was a small space, but there was a space. So when you're schlepping it over the space, right, that space is avir. So how could it be good?
It's still no good.
Still no good. We have ava between the kevish and the mizbeach. So how could it be good? So I'm thinking about it. It says, no matter how you're going to look at it, you look at the roiv. When you're schlepping it, if most of it is still on the ramp, so it's still the kosher meat. It's still kodesh the meat, because most of you go according to the roiv. If you schlepped it too far on the mizbeach, most of it is on the mizbeach. Else is good. Whichever way you turn, it's going to be perfect. Says Gemara, let's answer from here. Let's answer Rabbi Bar Chama's question. Yesh chibur le'olim oiloi. Rabbi Bar Chama asked, when you look at meat of a mizbeach, right? Do you look at it as separate pieces? Every piece of the meat is separate, or it's one long piece, one big piece? Tivsha the yesh chibur. And so over here, you see the fetish. It's all one piece. It's all connected. Why? Because every piece that goes over the ear, if it's a separate piece, it became puzzle. Start pulling the beginning of the meat. You pull it over the space. It's puzzle. Each piece is for its own. So the whole thing should have been puzzle, even though it was a long piece. But every amma, let's say, that went over the space, became possible because it's separate. Is a raiv from this that you said it's kosher, and you look at the raiv, that it's connected. Says Gemara, holy kasher. Who says it's a kasher? Tisha. Yeah, you can answer Rabbi Bacham's shaila that it's connected. It's considered as one piece. Even though there's air in the middle, but it won't passel. It's one amma because it's one big piece, and either the majority is on the kevesh or the majority is on the mizbeach. You have no problems. So the Gemara, but b'pil mamish, we don't have a raya either way. You don't have a raya. It's mechubah because we could say the reason why it's kosher because of aver of the kevesh is like the kevesh. We didn't prove either thing. We're still basket la Rav Bar Rav Chanan. So Rav Bar Rav Chanan had asked on those that had a shaila in the Ava Mizbeach. He says you can be patient. There's something very simply. It says v'ii amarta Ava HaMizbeach ki Mizbeach dami. If you're going to say the air of the Mizbeach is like the Mizbeach itself, take a oilas ha'oif. The pastam machshav heichem hashkachtala. We said pigul is only pigul if you physically do the same thing. You're going to be over on pigul. You're going to be over on punishment, codex, let's say. Pigul is that you had a mind. You had a mind by the shechita to eat it after this man. You're having about mitzvah in 2 weeks. It's only for 2 days and 1 night that you can have it. You want to eat it in 2 weeks from now. You want to save it for the bar mitzvah meal, for the suda. Okay, so that's called pigul. Why is it called pigul? Because if you eat it at that time, if you physically, you would be chayiv. So says Gemara, but by malik is oil sa'oiv, the pasuk ma'ashav heich mashkach lola. What happens by oiv? He stands on the mizbeach, and he does a malika. That's what he does with oiv. And he has a mind to eat it after this man. But hakol to Ava Mizbeach, the Ava Mizbeach, it's like on the Mizbeach. Right. So even after this man, by the chicken, but it's on the Mizbeach, on the Ava of the Mizbeach, even though he had a mind, but it would never become pigul. Because there's no lina there. There's no, it's always on the Mizbeach. So the Gemara answers with a kasha. Why is it impossible to become pigul? You can find that it should become pigul while you're doing malika on the mizbeach. He says, "Behold, I'm going to do malika. I'm a nasla irida. The condition I'm taking it down tomorrow. And then I'll bring it back up. To burn it back on the mizbeach. That's already lina." So it says that only makes sense. That lina helps to passel while it's on the mizbeach. It's shaykh to have lina. But Rabbi says there's no din of lina while it's still on the mizbeach. You can have in mind 100 things, but if it's on the mizbeach, it's not going to go through any lina. So there's the machshavas of the kain means zero, because he's the payal mamish. They're not coinciding what he's saying with what is being done. What is being done, it's on the mizbeach, and there's no isav lina. And even though he has a mind to take it down after Amud HaShachar, it won't become lina. He can bring it back up, and everything's fine according to Navi Yoladu. So you could find a case of lina. If you're going to Hama, like he says, he didn't say I'm going to take it after Amud HaShachar, because after Amud HaShachar, so the lina happened on the mizbeach, there was no more lina. He says I'm going to take it out before the Amud HaShachar, so it'll be lina on the ground. That's mamish lina. Then he would be chayiv. Says he says, I could be patient the opposite way. The Ava Mizbeach is mamish like the Mizbeach. These Halkadat, if you're going to think Sha'ava Mizbeach like the Mizbeach dami, that the ear of the Mizbeach is not like the Mizbeach. Take Chatas Ha'if, the Chatas of a bird, Psula. If he did Malika Shlei Lishma, there are only 2 kabbanis. If he had in mind a different carbon, it's possible to be on the Mizbeach. Chatas and Pesach. he had a mind for a different carbon, it's possible.
So better.
Yeah, here we're talking about a chatos. He had a mind for a different b'chatzai. Psula says, how is he now going to spray from the blood? The moment he takes it, the moment he goes to spray the blood, he's already going off the mizbeach. It's as if he went off the mizbeach and it's not fit for azah. Sharp psulim, and by a regular carbon of a behema also, that became pasul, and the blood was placed on the mizbeach. How are you going to spray the blood? The moment you take the blood off the mizbeach, it's as if you took it off the mizbeach. Says Gemara, no, the magalahu. We're talking about, let's say, by the oif. He sprays with the chicken itself. He keeps the oif against the wall of the mizbeach. He's the whole time there. Says Gemara, that's not spraying. Spraying means from afar. Mitzuyi, that's kvetch tareisa from mizbeach. So zika. And he said, when they get to the blood of a behema, you said that he's going to hold the keli with the blood touching the wall on his mizbeach. Hazika, that's zika? No, shvichi. With a keli of blood holding the mizbeach and you're just turning it over, that's called shvicha. In fact, Yemana Nachmeh, derech hazah bekach. Is that the way to do hazah? When the kohen pours down the blood, that's while the keli is touching the mizbeach. That's not, I'm sorry, derech hazah bekach. While the chicken is touching the mizbeach, that's not the derech hazah. Or by the keli touching the mizbeach, derech zika bekach. That's not the derech of zika. It's supposed to be from afar. Amar Abashi, eat the naked lehu b'reish hamizbeach hachinami. Says the Gemara, everybody agrees. If he's standing on the mizbeach with the keli or with the chicken, his body is like it's the mizbeach. It's connected to the mizbeach. Kikama, where was the shaila the slanu bikanya that the meat was on a stekin and he was on the floor? So there, what's the din in that case? Is the aver of Malam Mizbeach, Mizbeach itself or not? Teiku. This will be a okay.